Kid.
Do not erase a single second.
No, she lunged at me. No, she didn't.
Ma'am, stop interfering. The video shows everything. Delete it. Close the door.
No one leaves yet.
Okay.
Listen to her ordering us around.
This is a flight delay, not a courtroom. Then why are you rewriting what happened?
Nobody closes that door. We're already late.
Por ahí no te yes. I said leave it open.
Gunshot.
She attacked me.
Back to us. Play.
Remove her now. She refused instructions. Which instruction?
Move your bag.
It was permitted.
Stop arguing.
That's the passenger!
Who made contact?
She became aggressive. No, the attendant did. I recorded it. Preserve his original file. Do not delete anything.
There's federal identification. Verify it.
Anyone can carry a case. Use the secure number. This is out of proportion.
No,
it has reached the correct proportion.
The slap cracked through the first-class cabin, and every conversation died. The black woman in the Navy suit did not raise her voice. She touched her cheek, looked at the flight attendant, and said, "Do not erase a single second of this." Why had the crew laughed when she asked for a supervisor? Why did 3 airport officers board the plane minutes later? And why did the captain step into the aisle as if the entire flight had become evidence? No one understood what was inside the worn leather portfolio at her feet, or why one phone call could change every career in that cabin. Stay until the doors close, because the quietest passenger is about to become the one person nobody can ignore. Nobody closes that door. The captain's voice cut across the cabin as Gavin reached for the latch. Cold air hissed through the jet bridge. Laurel held 2 fingers to her wrist as if she were the one who had been struck. She lunged at me. I protected the crew. Amara kept one hand against her burning cheek. Preserve the cabin feed, the crew channel, and the boarding record for seat 2C. Gavin laughed. You don't issue orders here. No, but you do not erase evidence. Across the aisle, a man lowered his phone. An older Asian woman by the window gripped an unopened water bottle. No one spoke. The quiet felt heavier than the recycled cabin air. 3 airport officers entered. Sergeant Elias Ward came first. Officer Tara Bell followed with a tablet. Then Luis Mendez, who noticed the open portfolio and silver pen beneath seat 2A. Ward looked at Laurel. Who called? I did, Gavin said. Disruptive passenger, refused instructions, moved at the crew. Amara faced him. Ask whether he saw the contact. Ward did. Did you? Gavin's jaw tightened. I saw enough. That wasn't the question, said the woman by the window. Laurel turned. Ma'am, stay out of this. Miriam Cho, I was 2 feet away. A chime sounded above the galley. Coffee and citrus cleaner hung in the air. Ward crouched beside the portfolio. Inside lay a cream envelope, a boarding confirmation, and a leather credential case beneath a legal pad. Yours? Yes. Anything dangerous? No. Laurel folded her arms. She grabbed for the bag after I told her to move. I reached for protected documents after you carried them away, Amara said. Gavin stepped closer. Sergeant, remove her. We're 11 minutes late. Tara glanced toward the cockpit. Then the aircraft remains here. This is a reported assault with witnesses. The door stays open. The man with the phone spoke. I recorded everything. Laurel's shoulders shifted half an inch. Ward held out his hand. Do not delete it. I need your name. Amara lowered her hand. Her fingers trembled against the seat edge. Identification, Ward said. In the portfolio. Gavin exhaled. Here we go. Amara looked at Tara. Please take the black case. Do not open the sealed envelope. Tara lifted it. The leather felt worn at the corners. She opened the case, read the first line, then read it again. She straightened. Ward noticed. What is it? Before she answered, Amara's phone vibrated on the seat. One name lit the screen. Naomi. Laurel stared at the credential in Tara's hand. The captain stepped from the cockpit. Officer? "We need secure verification," Tara said. Gavin reached for his radio. "This is getting out of proportion." "No," Amara said quietly. "It has finally reached the correct proportion." Ward pointed toward the jet bridge. "No one leaves. Preserve every recording." The ventilation kept humming. Miriam bent down, saw the silver pen under the seat, and stopped before touching it. "Is that yours?" Amara watched the worn engraving catch the light. "Yes, and it must not disappear." Her phone stopped vibrating. Naomi's name vanished, leaving only 7:12 p.m. 3 hours earlier, that same pen had still been resting on Amara's kitchen table. At 4:08 p.m., Amara turned the fountain pen beneath the kitchen light until the worn engraving caught against her thumb. "D.E." for the words that matter. The kettle clicked off behind her. Rain tapped the windows, and the house smelled of black tea and cedar polish. Her phone rang. "Mom, are you already dressed?" Amara glanced down at her navy suit. "Mostly." "That means no. It means I have not chosen between the sensible shoes and the shoes you dislike. I dislike the ones that sound like a judge is approaching. That is their purpose." Naomi laughed, then softened. "You're still bringing it?" Amara closed her fingers around the pen. "I said I would." A pause filled the line. "They put Dad's chair beside mine," Naomi said. "Jonah said we didn't have to, but I wanted it there." Amara flattened one corner of the cream envelope. "Then it should be there." "You'll sit on the other side?" "I will." "Before 6:30? "I will." Naomi drew a breath. "You always say that like you're entering it into the record. It helps people believe me. It helps you believe you can control traffic." Amara looked toward the darkening window. A bus sprayed water across the curb. "I cannot control traffic." Growth. Do not get used to it. After the call, Amara poured tea and forgot to drink it. She opened the envelope once more. Inside was the note Daniel had written in his narrow, slanted hand. Give her this when she begins speaking for people who are not heard. She read only that line. Then she folded the paper, slid it beneath the pen, and placed both inside the worn brown portfolio. The leather creaked under her palm. She fastened the brass clasp, checked it twice, and set the bag by the door. At 4:31, her neighbor, Mrs. Vale, knocked with a parcel under one arm. "You're leaving in this weather?" "My flight is on time." "So was my marriage, until it wasn't." Amara accepted the parcel and smiled. Mrs. Vale noticed the portfolio. "Court work?" "Family." "That bag has never looked like family." "It belonged to Daniel." The older woman touched the edge of the leather, but asked nothing else. "Then don't let anyone make you check it." "I won't." In the car, the heater blew dry air against Amara's knees while wet tires whispered over the road. She kept the portfolio upright between her shoes. At every turn, the pen shifted inside with a soft metallic tap. The driver glanced at it in the mirror. Important papers? An important promise. At 5:02, Naomi sent a photograph from the ceremony hall. 2 chairs stood beneath warm lights. One had Naomi's name. The other held Daniel's folded gray coat across the back. Amara enlarged the image. Her breathing slowed, then caught. The driver lowered the radio. "You okay?" "Yes." But she kept looking at the empty sleeve until the airport signs rose through the rain. At the curb, she stepped into cold wind and rolling suitcase noise. The glass doors opened, swallowing her into white light, coffee smell, and a crowd moving too quickly. Her phone buzzed again. Gate changed. B17. Please hurry. Amara tightened her grip on the portfolio and walked toward security, unaware that Seat 2C had already been marked twice. At 5:19 p.m., the red warning appeared beside seat 2C. Kevin Lowe stared at the gate tablet, tapped twice, and watched it print a second boarding pass. "That seat is occupied," he said. Richard Bell, broad-shouldered in a charcoal overcoat, checked the paper. "Not according to this." Kevin swallowed. At 22, he had learned to hide mistakes by moving faster. Tonight, his fingers slipped on the glass. Amara reached the desk with rain cooling her coat. "I was told this gate could confirm my seat." Kevin scanned her pass. A red bar flashed. "That's strange." Richard raised his ticket. "I paid for 2C. "So did I," Amara said. The gate smelled of burnt coffee and damp wool. Wheels rattled over tile. Above them, the board changed from on time to boarding. Kevin opened the log. "Your reservation shows checked in, then released at 5:11. "I did not release it." "I know. The system says—" "The system cannot answer questions," Amara said. "You can." Richard shifted his bag. "I have a connection in Atlanta. And I have a ceremony. Neither changes the record." A line showed an automated release after a failed mobile refresh, then a manual reassignment 30 seconds later. Kevin lowered his voice. "The gate change may have marked you absent. Can you restore it?" "Not without delaying boarding." Amara placed her worn portfolio on the counter, one hand over the clasp. "Print what the system showed before the reassignment." Richard exhaled. "Are we doing paperwork over a seat?" "We are doing paperwork because there are 2 passengers and 1 record." He looked away. "I didn't mean—" "I know." The printer coughed, jammed, and left a black smear across Kevin's thumb. He pulled the warm page free. "Here, seat 2C assigned at purchase. No voluntary change. Sign it." "I'm not authorized." "You are authorized to confirm what you read." The boarding chime sounded. A gray-uniformed agent called first class. Kevin signed. Richard looked at his pass. "What happens to me?" "I can place you in 3A if it stays open." "That's not what I bought." "No," Amara said, lifting the portfolio. "It isn't." Richard stopped arguing. At the scanner, Kevin handed her the signed page. "Show this to the lead attendant. She can correct the cabin tablet." "Will you tell her?" "I'll add a note." "Will she see it?" Kevin hesitated. Amara folded the paper once. "Then call." Cold air pushed through the jet bridge. Behind her, Kevin spoke into the receiver. "Cabin lead, this is B17, duplicate in first class. The passenger in 2C has the original assignment and signed confirmation." A woman's voice crackled back. "My tablet says released." "The tablet is wrong." "Then fix it before she boards." "I can't from here." The line went dead. Kevin typed a note into the system. The red warning remained. Halfway down the bridge, Amara's phone buzzed. "They're seating us now. Dad's chair is beside me." She stopped beneath a strip of light while the crowd flowed around her. Then she touched the portfolio, felt the pen shift inside, and continued. At the aircraft door, the flight attendant glanced at the red warning, then at Amara's navy suit and leather bag. "Boarding pass," Laurel Vance said, without offering a welcome. "Boarding pass," Laurel Vance repeated. Amara held it out with the signed confirmation beneath it. Cold air moved along the jet bridge, carrying rain and engine fuel into the doorway. Laurel scanned the pass. Her tablet gave a low warning tone. Seat 2C was released. It was reassigned by mistake. The gate agent signed the original record. "I need the pass, not a story." "The pass is valid." Laurel's polished fingernail struck the red 2C on the screen. Tap, tap. "Last row, aisle seat." "Please read the paper." "Ma'am, People are waiting. A suitcase wheel struck the threshold behind Amara. Someone sighed. She stepped aside without surrendering the documents. You may board them. I am asking you to verify a duplicate assignment. You're asking me to delay the aircraft. No, I am asking you not to turn an error into an instruction. Laurel glanced at Kevin's signature, then away before reading the line below it. Take 27D or leave. Call the gate. I have what I need. Coffee warmed in the galley, bitter against the smell of damp coats. Amara entered, found 2C empty, and placed the worn portfolio upright beside her shoes. The woman in 2A turned. She was 61, with silver-framed glasses and a navy scarf pinned neatly at one shoulder. Miriam Cho, she said. I heard the gate agent call before you boarded. Amara Ellison. He said the seat was yours. Across the aisle, a lean man in his early 30s closed a paperback. Theo Bennett. I teach civics. The seat map says 2C2. Laurel appeared in the aisle. Stand up. Has the gate corrected the record? You were given a direct instruction. I was offered another seat without written confirmation. Laurel tapped the tablet twice, harder now. This says you do not belong here. Miriam's water bottle crackled in her hand. Theo leaned forward. She showed you a signed document. Sir, stay out of this. I'm sitting 3 feet away. Amara drew the portfolio closer with her shoe. Please request a ground supervisor. These documents cannot be separated from me. Laurel looked at the worn leather. Everyone says their bag is important. I said protected. What is in it? Confidential papers and a family item. That answer is not helping you. It answered your question. A boarding chime sounded. Richard Bell entered, saw Amara, and stopped. That's my seat. Laurel pointed at her. Exactly. Richard raised another pass. They moved me to 3A. The agent said 2C was hers first. Laurel's hand dropped. For a moment, only the ventilation hummed. Then the seating issue is resolved, Amara said. Laurel glanced toward the open door and the line beyond it. The cabin lights sharpened the color in her cheeks. There is now a compliance issue. Miriam turned fully toward her. Because she was correct? Because she refused crew instructions. Theo slipped his phone from his pocket and held it dark against his thigh. Amara rested both hands on her knees. Bring the supervisor. Laurel reached for the interphone. Gavin, front cabin, now. She blocked the aisle while the overhead clock changed to 5:34 p.m. A man's voice answered through the speaker. Tell me this isn't another delay. Tell me this isn't another delay. Gavin Rusk stepped through the galley curtain, his tie crooked and stale coffee clinging to him. Laurel held up the tablet. Passenger in 2C refused reseating and challenged a direct instruction. Amara offered the signed confirmation. The duplicate assignment was corrected. Mr. Bell has 3A. Gavin did not take the paper. He looked at the cockpit clock. Doors should have closed 2 minutes ago. Theo's phone stayed low against his thigh. Miriam's bottle creaked in her grip. The seat is settled, Amara said. What remains is whether your crew will acknowledge the correction. Gavin leaned toward Laurel. His whisper carried. One more delay and Marlene will bury us in the monthly review. Laurel's jaw tightened. She made this difficult. No, Miriam said. The tablet did. Gavin turned. Ma'am, stay out of an operational matter. I spent 34 years recording operational matters in courtrooms. Amara folded the signed page. Call the gate agent. We don't reopen ground questions after boarding. You never answered the first one. The interphone chimed. Laurel picked it up. This is front cabin. Marlene Quaid's voice came through sharp. Why is the door still open? Duplicate seat. Passenger refused to move. Kevin's note is in the system, Amara said. A pause. Marlene answered. If she is refusing crew direction, document non-compliance and remove her. We cannot miss the departure window. Gavin lowered the handset. Understood. Theo raised his phone slightly. Before you remove anyone, Amara said, state the safety basis. Laurel folded her arms. Your behavior. Describe it. You argued. I asked for verification. You refused. An invalid correction. Gavin rubbed his badge. This is not a hearing. No, Amara said. That is why accuracy should take less time. A passenger called. Can we just go? Another voice answered. She has the seat. Cold air blew from the vents. A coffee pot clicked against its warmer. Gavin drew Laurel near the galley, though only a curtain separated them from row 2. Right refusal to comply, he murmured. Keep it simple. What about the duplicate pass? Resolved before pushback. But she was right. The report is about conduct, not the seat. Miriam looked at Amara. Did you hear that? Yes. Theo's screen showed a red recording bar. Laurel returned. You may remain in 2C if you place the portfolio overhead. It contains protected documents and will stay under the seat in front of me, as permitted. It blocks access. Gavin bent, saw the clear floor space, and stood. Move the bag. Amara rested 2 fingers on the brass clasp. Show me the rule you're applying. Laurel's cheeks darkened. Gavin's radio crackled. Front cabin? Status? He pressed the button. Passenger refusing final instruction. Miriam's bottle went still. Amara looked toward the open door, where the green indicator had begun blinking. Who are you calling? Airport operations, Gavin said. To remove you. Theo lifted his phone fully. Gavin saw it. Sir, stop recording. Why? The green light blinked again. Laurel stepped forward and reached for Amara's portfolio before anyone answered. Laurel's fingers closed around the portfolio handle. Amara covered the brass clasp. Do not remove that bag. You were told to place it overhead. It is within the permitted space. Gavin pointed toward the galley. Take it. Cold air pressed across Amara's cheek. Theo's phone held steady, its red dot glowing. Laurel tugged. The leather scraped the floor, struck the seat rail, and sprang open. A cream envelope slid out. Beneath it lay a black credential case, a legal pad, and Daniel's silver fountain pen. What is this? Laurel asked. Close it. Gavin leaned over the seat. Check the contents. You do not have consent. We have a security concern. You created one. Laurel reached toward the credential case. Amara extended one arm across the open bag, palm down, without touching her. The movement lasted less than a second. Laurel recoiled. Then her hand flashed forward. The slap cracked through first class. The coffee pot stopped rattling. Amara's head turned slightly. Heat spread across her face while the rest of her body went still. Someone behind row 4 gasped. No one spoke. The fountain pen rolled from the portfolio, spun under the aisle light, and disappeared beneath Miriam's seat. Theo's phone never lowered. She lunged at me, Laurel said. Miriam stared at her. No. She reached for me. She covered her papers, Theo said. Gavin stepped between them. Everyone remained seated. Amara touched 2 fingers to her cheek. Preserve every recording. Laurel gave a brittle laugh. You're threatening us? No, I'm telling you what must happen next. Gavin grabbed the interphone. Captain, airport police, assaultive passenger in first class. Theo rose halfway. That is false. Sit down. You watched her get hit. I said, sit down. Miriam leaned toward the floor and saw a silver glint. Your pen. Please don't touch it. Miriam froze with her hand above the carpet. The delayed boarding tone chimed. Kevin appeared at the end of the jet bridge. What happened? Go back to the gate, Laurel snapped. He saw the open portfolio and Amara's cheek. I told you her seat was valid. This is no longer about the seat, Gavin said. That's what you said before reading my note. Leave. Kevin remained in the doorway. Amara looked at him. Was your call recorded? It should be. Make sure. Gavin moved toward him. Kevin backed away, but raised his radio as he went. The captain emerged from the cockpit, jacket unbuttoned. He looked from Laurel to Amara, then to Theo's phone. Who made contact? She came at me, Laurel said. Miriam answered. That is not what happened. Theo held up the screen. I have video. The captain faced Gavin. Do not close the door. We're already late. Leave it open. Amara gathered the cream envelope and returned it to the portfolio. She did not reach for the pen. Her phone vibrated on the seat. Naomi. The name lit the screen while footsteps pounded through the jet bridge. Amara watched the call ring twice and stop. 3 uniformed officers entered. Laurel folded her arms. Gavin pointed at Amara. That's the passenger. But the first officer looked past his hand toward the silver pen lying untouched beneath seat 2A. That's the passenger, Gavin said again. Sergeant Elias Ward took in the open portfolio, the pen beneath 2A, Theo's raised phone, and the red mark on Amara's cheek. Who called us? I did, Gavin said. She became aggressive. Laurel pressed 2 fingers to her wrist. She reached at me. Miriam turned. She reached over her own bag. Ward faced Amara. Ma'am, stand slowly. Amara rose. Cold ventilation brushed her face. My identification is in the black case, she said. The bag contains protected documents. Gavin laughed once. Here we go. Officer Tara Bell crouched beside the portfolio, her dark braid tucked beneath her cap. May I retrieve the case? Yes. Do not open the cream envelope. Tara opened the worn credential holder. Her eyes stopped on the first line. Ward noticed. What is it? Federal identification. Laurel folded her arms. Anyone can buy a leather case. Amara looked at Ward. Use the secure number on the reverse. His radio hissed. Network is lagging, Officer Luis Mendez said. Terminal link is down. Gavin stepped closer. Remove her first. Verify later. Ward looked at Theo. Are you recording? Yes. Keep the original file. Gavin snapped. He was told to stop. By whom? By me. That does not erase evidence. A murmur moved through the cabin, then died. Amara's phone vibrated on the seat. Naomi's name filled the screen. She reached toward it. Hands visible, Ward said. Amara stopped. The phone rang twice. The bright name disappeared. I need to answer my daughter. After we move to the interview room. She's waiting for me at a ceremony. Laurel said, Everyone has somewhere to be. Miriam's water bottle crumpled in her hand. Tara closed the case. Sergeant, the seals appear consistent. Appear? Gavin said. So you don't know. Ward pointed toward the jet bridge. We are de-escalating this off the aircraft. Amara stayed still. Am I detained? You're being escorted while we establish what happened. Am I free to leave? Ward's jaw shifted. Not yet. Theo stood. You're taking the woman who was hit. Mendez raised one palm. Sir, remain seated. Miriam spoke without looking away from Ward. The attendant struck her. I saw it. We will take statements. Later, Miriam said, is how details get cleaned. Laurel glanced towards the galley. Amara bent only enough to fasten the portfolio. Tara returned the papers. The silver pen remained beneath the seat. "My pen," Amara said. "We'll collect it," Ward replied. "Log who touches it." Gavin exhaled. "It's a pen." "No," Amara said. "It is the reason I am on this flight." Tara took the portfolio. Amara walked into the jet bridge between Ward and Mendez. The air outside was colder, carrying rain and machinery oil. Behind them, the captain ordered the door left open. Halfway up the bridge, Amara's phone vibrated again inside Tara's clear property pouch. Naomi. Ward glanced at the screen, but kept walking. At the gate, Kevin stood beside his terminal, his ink-stained thumb frozen over the keyboard. "They're taking the wrong person," he said. Ward did not stop. Behind the glass, beneath seat 2A, the fountain pen waited where only Miriam could still see it. The interview room door shut with a metal click. Amara sat beneath a fluorescent panel that buzzed when the air unit started. The table felt cold through her sleeves. Tara placed the clear property pouch on the far edge and turned Amara's phone face down. "Sergeant Ward will take your statement." "When?" "He is speaking with the crew." "Then he is hearing their version twice before mine once." Tara pulled out the opposite chair. "I heard that." The clock read 7:26 p.m. "My daughter's ceremony began 6 minutes ago. I can let you call. She has already received a message." "From whom?" "An empty chair." Tara slid the phone across the table. "One call. Speaker on." Naomi answered before the first ring ended. "Mom? I'm here." "Where are you?" "At the airport." A microphone squealed behind her daughter's voice. "They're lining us up," Naomi said. "Jonah moved Dad's chair beside me. I kept looking at the doors." "I know. Are you coming?" Amara pressed her thumb into the table edge. "Not tonight." Silence filled both rooms. "What happened?" "There was a dispute on the aircraft." "A dispute?" "I am safe." "That is not an answer." Amara said, "Your ceremony matters. Go stand where you worked to stand." "And the pen?" Her breathing changed once. "It is still on the plane." "Dad's pen?" "Yes." A man called Naomi's name. "I have to go." "I know." "Mom? The chair is empty." The fluorescent buzz stopped. "Then let it be empty," Amara said. "Do not let it make you smaller." The line ended. A voicemail appeared. "Naomi, 019. "May I listen?" Tara nodded. Naomi's recorded voice filled the room. "They're calling my row now. I saved the seat anyway. I'm not angry about the pen. I just wanted you beside me when I used my own voice." Amara set the phone down with both hands. Ward entered, carrying a paper cup. "We need your statement." "First, recover the fountain pen beneath seat 2A." "We will." "Who is guarding the cabin?" "The aircraft is held." "Who has access?" "Crew and officers." "Then, we will is not enough." Ward set the cup near her. "You are not in charge of this investigation." "No. That is why I am asking whether anyone is." His mouth tightened. "State your name and occupation." She gave her full name. "Occupation?" "Federal judge." Ward stopped writing. Tara turned the credential case toward him. "The secure link is back." He scanned the number. The monitor loaded slowly, casting gray light across his face. A cart rattled beyond the wall. The confirmation appeared in green. Ward read it twice. "Verified," Tara said. He looked at Amara, then at Naomi's second message. "I need to call my supervisor." "You also need to preserve the boarding logs before they refresh." Tara's phone rang. She listened, then covered the receiver. Miriam Cho found the pen. She refused to give it to the crew. She wants an evidence bag and a receipt. Amara's fingers finally loosened. Ward opened the door. "Send an evidence technician to seat 2A, now." Footsteps filled the corridor. On the monitor, beneath Amara's verified title, another window opened. The incident report had been created at 5:37 p.m., 3 minutes before Laurel claimed Amara became aggressive. 3 minutes before? Tara asked. Ward leaned toward the monitor. The report showed 5:37 p.m. Laurel's statement placed the first aggressive movement at 5:40. That is impossible. Unless the conclusion came first, Amara said. Rain ticked against the narrow window. The room smelled of paper dust and burnt coffee as Tara photographed the screen and copied the system. ID Ward reached for the keyboard. "Do not edit it." "I'm opening the audit trail. Use read-only access." He stopped and called the evidence desk. "Freeze incident file A-7719. Full metadata. No overwrites." Officer Mendez entered with a sealed pouch. Inside lay Daniel's fountain pen, its silver barrel dulled by cabin carpet. "Miriam Cho would not release it until I signed twice," he said. Amara stood, but did not reach for it. "Chain of custody?" "Recovered at 7:41, beneath seat 2A. Witness present." "Thank you." The pen caught the fluorescent light. Amara's hand moved toward it, then folded against her side. Tara said, "We can return it after documentation." "It belongs with the record until the record is safe." Ward's radio crackled. "Sergeant, the passenger with video refuses to upload through crew Wi-Fi." "Good," Amara said. Ward glanced at her. "Public networks compress files. Make a direct copy." He keyed the radio. "Escort Theo Bennett to digital evidence. No cabin network." Theo appeared minutes later, pale but steady, phone in both hands. "I recorded before the bag opened." "Did you stop?" Tara asked. "No." "Did anyone touch the phone?" "Gavin tried. The captain stopped him." Theo looked at Amara. "I should have stood up sooner. You recorded before they knew they needed a witness. That matters." A blue transfer bar crawled across the evidence laptop. At 12%, Tara's secure terminal chimed. The boarding audit had arrived. Kevin's correction appeared at 5:23. A cabin acknowledgement opened at 5:25 under Laurel's code. At 5:31, Gavin marked the seat issue resolved. 6 minutes later, he created the misconduct report. Ward read the sequence aloud. Theo stared at the screen. "So they knew she was right." "They knew the seat was hers," Tara said. Amara's phone lit with a photograph from Naomi. Her daughter stood beneath warm courtroom lights, one hand raised, Daniel's empty chair beside her. There was no message. Amara turned the phone face down. The transfer reached 100%. Theo's video opened without sound. Laurel's arm moved. Amara's hand stayed flat over the portfolio. Then the audio loaded. "You created one," Amara's recorded voice said. The slap followed. Ward removed his glasses. Tara replayed the 10 seconds before it and froze the image on Amara's open palm, nowhere near Laurel. "We have probable cause for a false report," Mendez said. "And assault," Ward added. Amara looked at the evidence pouch. "You have facts. Do not replace one rush decision with another." Ward nodded, then called the captain. "Keep every crew member aboard. Nobody leaves or touches the cabin tablet." The laptop fan warmed the metal table. A second alert appeared on Tara's screen. Marlene Quaid had remotely opened the incident file 4 minutes earlier. "Lock Marlene Quaid out of the file," Tara said. Ward was already on the phone. "Suspend remote access. Preserve every command." The monitor flashed. "Access revoked." Amara stood beside the metal table while rain traced the window. Daniel's pen rested in an evidence pouch beneath fluorescent light. Mendez opened the door. "The captain is holding the aircraft. Crew separated. And the passengers? Still seated. Then we go back before rumor becomes the record." The corridor smelled of wet coats. At the gate, Kevin Lowe stepped from his terminal. "Sergeant, I saved the original seat log." "Where?" "Local print queue. Marlene told me to clear it." Ward stopped. "When?" 2 minutes ago." Tara moved Kevin's ink-stained hand from the keyboard. "Touch nothing else." Amara said, "You corrected the record before boarding." "Yes." "Then state only that. No apology. No guesses." The jet bridge trembled beneath a service cart. Captain Owen Hart waited at the aircraft door. "I kept everyone aboard," he said. "Gavin wants company counsel." "He can wait," Ward replied. They entered first class. Conversation died row by row. Laurel stood near the galley with folded arms. Gavin held his radio to his chest. Miriam remained in 2A, her bent water bottle unopened. Ward moved into the aisle. "This cabin is secured as evidence. No recording, report, or device related to the incident is to be altered." Gavin frowned. "You removed the passenger. Why bring her back?" "Because the evidence brought us back." Tara handed the captain Amara's verified credential. He read it twice. "Judge Ellison, I should have intervened sooner." A murmur moved through the cabin. Laurel stared at the credential case on seat 2C. "She never told me." "I did not need a title to deserve verification," Amara said. Ward faced the passengers. "Seat 2C was valid. Her identity is confirmed. Video and system records contradict the crew report." Someone whispered, "Federal judge." Gavin stepped forward. "This is becoming a spectacle." "No," Amara said. "It became evidence when you wrote the conclusion before the event." Ward turned to Laurel. "You are relieved of duty pending investigation." Her mouth opened. "You're arresting me?" "I said relieved." "And if I want counsel?" "You may request it." Ward faced Amara. "Do you want her taken into custody now?" The cabin waited. Amara lifted the cream envelope and smoothed its bent corner. "I want what I asked for first," she said. "Preserve the facts. Apply the law after you have them." Laurel's shoulders dropped. Tara collected the cabin tablet. Mendez sealed Gavin's radio log. The captain announced that the flight was canceled for review. Groans rose from the rear, then faded when Miriam said, "A missed flight is not the worst thing that happened here." Amara closed the portfolio. Her phone showed a message from Naomi. "I finished. Dad's chair stayed beside me." She read it once and slipped the phone away. Ward's radio crackled. "Company counsel is here with an operations executive." At the end of the jet bridge, Marlene Quaid appeared beside a woman carrying a black legal case. Marlene found Amara standing beside seat 2C. For the first time that evening, she stopped walking. Marlene Quaid stopped at the aircraft door, gripping her phone. Beside her stood Celeste Mora, 44, the airline's counsel, carrying a black case. "Who authorized access restrictions?" Marlene asked. "I did," Ward said. "You cannot freeze company systems without notice." Tara raised the audit log. "You opened the incident file after we ordered preservation. I checked a report. You tried to edit it," Kevin said. Marlene turned. "You do not know what you saw. I saved the print queue." Celeste looked from Kevin's ink-stained thumb to Amara's portfolio. "No one speaks further until counsel is present." Amara folded the cream envelope into the bag. "Counsel is present. Truth is still allowed." The passengers left. Miriam stayed, and Theo kept his phone sealed as evidence. Laurel stood by the galley, staring at her badge. At 8:18 p.m., the review began in a conference room. Rain rattled the vents. Sandwiches dried beneath white lights. Dana Ruiz, 47, an independent inspector, entered with a pad, aligned every pen, then spoke. Laurel Vance, did Judge Ellison threaten you? Laurel looked at Celeste. Answer what you remember, Celeste said. She moved toward me. Dana played Theo's video. On the screen, Amara's palm lay flat over the portfolio. Laurel's hand crossed the frame. The slap sounded smaller through the speaker, but no one shifted. Dana froze the image. Where is the threat? Laurel swallowed. It felt different in the moment. Miriam said, The moment is right there. Gavin leaned forward. I did not see contact. I was handling the delay. Tara played the crew channel recording. Gavin's voice filled the room. Write refusal to comply. Keep it simple. His eyes dropped before the sentence ended. Why create the report at 5:37? Dana asked. It was a draft. The alleged conduct occurred at 5:40. I anticipated escalation. Amara turned one page. The paper made a dry whisper. You anticipated a conclusion, Dana said. Marlene cut in. Teams make provisional entries all the time. Kevin placed a printout on the table. Then why tell me to clear this? I told you to remove duplicate data. You said, remove anything that makes the cabin look wrong. Celeste closed her eyes. Dana drew 4 reports from her folder. Each used the same phrase. Passenger refused reasonable instruction. None included witness interviews. Laurel looked at Marlene. You told us that wording protected the crew. Do not shift this onto me. I wrote what Gavin said. Gavin shoved back his chair. Everyone signed those reports. Not everyone struck a passenger, Marlene replied. Laurel reached for her badge, missed the clasp, and tried again. Her fingers would not steady. Dana closed the folder. All 3 of you are on administrative leave pending formal investigation. The records go to the airport authority and local prosecutor. Celeste opened her case. We should discuss resolution. Not tonight, Amara said. Marlene stared at her. What do you want? The complete record. A printer started in the adjoining office. Page after page slid into the tray. Donna rose. Then we begin with every complaint your department closed without asking who else was in the room. At 9:06 p.m., Celeste Mora placed a 6-page agreement in front of Amara. Private transport, reimbursement, and a settlement, she said. In return, the matter remains confidential during review. Rain clicked against the glass, and the sandwiches smelled of vinegar and dry bread. Amara did not touch the pen beside the signature line. Does this preserve the boarding audit? Yes. Publicly? Celeste paused. Internally? Then no. Marlene shifted. You were verified. The flight was canceled. 3 employees are suspended. What more is required? A record that cannot be rewritten after everyone goes home. Celeste turned one page. This is not an admission of fault. I noticed. Dana stacked the released complaints by the printer. Celeste lowered her voice. We can have a private aircraft ready within the hour. You could still reach Atlanta tonight. Amara looked at her phone. Naomi had sent a photograph. The ceremony hall nearly empty. Daniel's gray coat folded over the vacant chair. The event is over. That does not mean we cannot make this easier. You cannot reimburse an empty chair. At 9:22, Naomi called. Amara stepped into the cooler corridor, where a floor buffer whined beyond the security doors. Are you alone? Naomi asked. For the moment. Jonah told everyone your flight was canceled. That is true. Not all of it. No. Naomi drew a shaky breath. I kept turning around whenever the doors opened. Amara leaned against the wall. I should have been there. You said the chair could stay empty. It could. I did not say it would not hurt. Did they return Dad's pen? It is still sealed as evidence. Naomi gave a small, broken laugh. Of course it is. I will bring it to you. When? When the facts no longer depend on who is holding the bag. Back inside, Celeste had added a second document. This version includes a public apology. From whom? The company. About what? The distress caused by a service incident. Amara slid it back. That phrase removes every decision that caused it. Marlene pressed both palms to the table. You are asking an airline to confess before an investigation ends. I am asking it not to purchase the ending. Donna placed 5 old complaint files beside the unsigned agreement. Each bore the same closure code. Amara opened the first. No witness names. The second was identical. What changes do you want? Celeste asked. Independent review of removals. Mandatory preservation after physical contact. Verification before a disputed passenger is labeled non-compliant. No confidentiality clause covering systemic findings. That is policy, not compensation. Yes. Marlene stared at the photograph glowing on Amara's phone. You would risk a settlement over procedure? Amara turned the screen face down. My daughter began her career tonight speaking for people whose voices are usually reduced to summaries. I will not honor that by signing one. She folded the agreement once, set it beside the picture of the empty chair, and pushed them apart. Donna opened another file. This complaint is 18 months old, she said. Same route, same wording, same supervisor approval. At the bottom was Marlene Quade's signature. At 10:14 the next morning, Laurel Vance sat beneath white hearing room lights, both hands around her service badge. Administrative Judge Evelyn Crow entered. Silver-haired, she wore reading glasses on a chain. Ms. Vance, do you understand the findings? Yes. Do you dispute that you struck Judge Ellison? Laurel looked at the frozen image on the monitor. No. The ventilation clicked on. Paper edges lifted across the table. Gavin Rusk sat 2 chairs away, face gray. Marlene Quade chose the seat nearest the door. Crow turned to Dana Ruiz. Summarize the evidence. Passenger video, crew channel audio, boarding metadata, witness statements, and 7 earlier complaints closed without interviews. 7? Gavin said. Donna slid the files toward him. You approved 3. I followed procedure. You created procedure after the fact, Crow replied. Laurel rubbed the badge clasp. Gavin told me to keep the report simple. Gavin's chair scraped. You made physical contact. Do not put that on me. You told me she was the problem before you saw anything. Marlene cut in. Everyone here is trying to protect themselves. Amara sat at the far end with Naomi beside her. Daniel's pen remained sealed in a clear pouch between them. Naomi watched the pen instead of Laurel. Crow addressed Amara. Do you wish to recommend a penalty? No. Marlene blinked. I want the facts stated without soft language, Amara said. The penalty belongs to the proper authorities. Laurel's fingers slipped on the clasp. She tried again. The metal would not release. Dana read the findings aloud. Unjustified physical contact. False characterization of passenger conduct. Premature reporting. Attempted alteration of records. Patterned closure of complaints. Each sentence landed beneath the hum of the lights. Gavin whispered, I never touched her. Theo answered from behind the witness rail. You wrote the story before she could tell hers. Crow looked up. Mr. Bennett, I'm sorry. No, keep that sentence in the record. At 10:47, the rulings came. Laurel's employment was terminated, and the incident was referred for misdemeanor review. Gavin lost supervisory status and was suspended pending labor proceedings. Marlene's resignation, submitted minutes before the hearing, was accepted without severance, while the authority opened a separate inquiry into prior complaints. Laurel finally removed the badge. For several seconds, she held it between both hands. "I thought control meant no one questioned me," she said. "I was wrong." Amara's answer was quiet. "You were told before you acted." Laurel placed the badge on the bare wood. "I know." Outside, cameras waited behind glass doors, flashes whitening the corridor. Celeste offered a private exit. "No," Amara said. "The report is public. The hallway can be public, too." Naomi carried the evidence pouch. The plastic crackled with each step. A reporter called, "Judge Ellison, do you forgive her?" Amara stopped. Forgiveness is private. Accountability is not. She and Naomi continued toward the elevators. Behind them, Dana handed reporters the findings. On the first page, one sentence appeared in bold. "Performance pressure does not excuse the abandonment of judgment." At 8:30 Monday, the old passenger removal form lay in the center of the airport authority's conference table. Its corners were soft. 3 faded boxes headed the page: refusal, disruption, safety risk. Michael Grant placed a new document over it. "This one begins with verification," he said. He was 50, broad-shouldered, with rimless glasses and a habit of squaring each page. The room smelled of toner and damp coats. Amara read the title: Passenger Protection and Evidence Preservation Protocol. Independent review before removal in disputes over records, seating, or identity, Michael said. Preserve evidence after physical contact. Provide a neutral representative on request. And the crew report? Cannot be finalized until witness names are logged. Donna Ruiz tapped the margin. Add raw metadata, not screenshots. Michael wrote it in. Celeste Mora said, "The company will object to automatic delays." The old system delayed one aircraft for hours, Amara said. It waited until after the damage. At 9:12, a supervisor projected the first scenario: 2 boarding passes, 1 seat, a red warning. "What is the first instruction?" he asked. A flight attendant answered, "Move the passenger." Michael closed the laptop. "No, that answer is why we are here." "Try again," Amara said. She studied the screen. "Confirm which record changed. And while you confirm, do not label either passenger non-compliant." The projector fan hummed. Cinnamon coffee scented the back row. Michael reopened the laptop. "Say it to the passenger." The attendant stood. "There is a conflict in the system. I am stopping the process until we verify it. You will not lose your place while we check." Amara folded her hands. "That sentence costs less than an investigation." By noon, the group had added retention of crew audio, recording for removals, and personal sign-off by any supervisor who overrode verification. Celeste pointed to the clause. "This creates individual exposure." "It creates individual memory," Dana replied. Michael turned to Amara. "Anything else?" She looked through the glass at Gate B17. Wheels clicked over tile beneath white light. "The neutral representative cannot report through airline operations." "Then who employs them?" Celeste asked. "The airport authority," Michael said. "Separate budget, separate chain." At 3:40, the board voted. 6 hands rose. 1 remained down. No applause followed. Michael lifted the old form from beneath the new protocol. "Archive it?" "Keep it in the training room," Amara said. "People should see what certainty looked like before anyone checked it." He clipped the pages together, the new rule covering the old form. Outside, rainwater shone across the runway. Naomi called as Amara reached the elevator. How did it go? The rule exists. That sounds like a judgment. It is only a beginning. The indicator blinked from 4 to 3. My first major hearing is next month, Naomi said. Amara touched the empty pen slot inside the portfolio. Send me the date. You're coming? Yes. The doors opened. At gate B17, an attendant read the protocol, finger on the line requiring her to stop before deciding who did not belong. 3 months later, Naomi stood outside courtroom 6 with Daniel's fountain pen balanced across her palm. You kept it sealed longer than necessary, she said. The evidence clerk disagreed. He wrapped it like a museum piece. Amara adjusted the sleeve of Daniel's gray coat over Naomi's arm. The corridor smelled of floor wax and winter air. Beyond the doors, voices rose beneath fluorescent lights. Naomi studied the worn engraving. What if I forget my first question? You will ask the second one. That sounds like Dad. He would have added a joke. Naomi closed her fingers around the pen. Stay? I'm not going anywhere. Inside, Amara took the last seat in the back row. Naomi set the silver pen beside her file and began speaking for a tenant whose complaint had been reduced to 3 lines on a form. Her voice shook on the first sentence. On the second, it steadied. 2 weeks later, at gate B17, April Moss faced 2 passengers holding passes for the same seat. She was 27, compact, with a copper braid and a habit of reading every screen twice. The tablet flashed red. One passenger lifted his voice. She took my place. April raised one hand. No one has taken anything. The record changed, and I am stopping the process until we verify it. She called the gate desk, printed the audit, and asked a neutral passenger representative to join them. The correction took 7 minutes. No one was removed. No report used the word non-compliant. Across the terminal, Michael Grant watched without intervening. When April returned the correct pass, he wrote 1 sentence. Protocol used before harm. The public report arrived that spring. Laurel's dismissal remained in place, and the court ordered probation, training, and community service after her plea. Gavin accepted a non-supervisory ground position after the labor review found that he had shaped reports around departure targets. Marlene's resignation became permanent, while 3 earlier closures went to outside investigators. Kevin joined the Passenger Protection Office. Miriam taught witness documentation once a month. Theo used no names when he showed his class the first 10 seconds of the video. Why stop there? A student asked. Because that is where everyone still had a choice, he said. At home, Amara found a plain envelope beside the published protocol. Laurel's handwriting leaned sharply across the page. I kept thinking authority meant ending questions. I understand now that it begins with answering them. There was no request for forgiveness. Naomi read the letter at the kitchen table while rain brushed the window. Are you going to reply? Not today. Will you keep it? Amara placed it beneath the new protocol, not above it. Yes. Why? Because change should remember its cost. The next morning, Amara carried the worn portfolio through the airport again. At security, the brass clasp caught beneath her thumb. For a moment, she heard the slap, the dead ventilation hum, and her daughter's unanswered call. Then April approached from the gate. Judge Ellison, your seat is confirmed. Amara looked toward 2C, then at the pen clipped inside the portfolio. Thank you for checking. She boarded without anyone asking who she was. The door closed softly behind her. Have you ever witnessed someone being dismissed, mislabeled, or treated as a problem before anyone checked the facts? Share what happened in the comments, especially if one quiet decision changed the outcome. Send this story to someone who believes dignity should not depend on a title, a uniform, or how calmly a person speaks under pressure. Subscribe for more stories about justice, quiet resilience, and the system changes that begin when ordinary witnesses refuse to look away. And remember this moment at Seat 2C. Accountability did not start when everyone learned Amara's position. It started when someone preserved the video, someone protected the pen, and someone finally chose to verify before judging.